Okay, so let's finish up on chapter 4, and then we can get on to some trig, which I'm sure you're all looking forward to. Okay, so what we're going to finish off on is a pretty straightforward thing. This is an actual application of algebra to everyday Islamic medieval life. And that's the Algebra of Legacies that we've looked at before. So we've seen that when someone dies, there's these elaborate rules for how an estate is divided up. And there's also the possibilities of, giving a legacy. And the legacy comes from the estate before it's shared between the natural heirs. And so really in that situation there, it's not really algebra in that sort of situation, because it's really just arithmetic. You're just taking some quantity and you're dividing it up. So when it becomes algebra is if somehow the estate is actually unknown. And this is the situation in which it occurs. And so this is a problem from Al-Khwarizmi. So a man dies, leaving 2 sons and bequeathing 1/3 of his estate to a stranger. His estate consists of 10 dirhams of ready cash and 10 dirhams as a claim against one of the sons to whom he has loaned the money. Okay, and so the relevant bits of law is the natural heirs can only refuse to pay that part of the legacy by which it exceeds 1/3 of the estate. The amount by which the outstanding loan to the natural heir exceeds what would be the legal share is treated as a gift to the heir. The gift precedes the legacy, and the legacy precedes the natural shares. So the important point here is that 10 dirhams of debt is not instantly added to the estate. Only a proportion of it is going to be added to the estate. So the estate is going to be 10 plus X. And so all of a sudden, that's how we've got algebra. And so let's see how that's solved. So if we let X be the legal share of each son, since the gift is paid first, so remember what happens is the son who owes 10 dirhams, he's going to get his share of the estate, and then whatever's left over is going to be forgiven as a gift. And the forgiveness comes before the money is treated out. So that's why it becomes an algebra problem. Okay, so the estate is 10 plus X. So it's 10, that's the 10 dirhams that's in the estate, and X is the amount of the debt that is going to the son as his legacy, as his share from the estate. Okay, and so the way that you do an algebra equation is you have 2 different ways of saying the same thing. The estate is 10 plus X, but the estate gets shared out. So 2X is the share of each son, and the stranger gets 1/3 of the estate. So that's 10 plus X divided by 3. And that gives us an honest to goodness algebra equation. Okay, and so what do? So we know what happens. We put like things together. So the X comes over here. Subtract an X, add the X to that, so we get 4/3 of X. And then we put the numbers over the other side. So we subtract 10 over 3 from 10, we get 20 over 3. So X equals 5. And that solves the problem, right? So what happens first is there's a gift made of 5 dirhams made to the son who has the debt. And that's just basically writing off that loan. And so now he owes 5 dirhams. Okay. And And so that makes the estate 15 dirhams. The 10 dirhams of cash plus the 5 dirhams that he owes. The stranger gets a third of that, so he gets 5 dirhams. And then that leaves 10 dirhams in the estate. That's divided in half between the two sons. So the son who has the loan then gets that 5 dirhams, but of course it's just really what's happened is his debt has been cancelled completely. And the other son gets 5 dirhams. So the 10 dirhams of cash gets split between the stranger and the son, and the other son gets relieved of the 10 dirham debt, 5 dirhams as a gift, and 5 dirhams as his actual share from the estate. Probably matters as for tax purposes, how that's all done. Okay, so it's just an example of, and so in all the algebra books, then these kinds of problems were considered very, very important. Okay, that finishes that. I am going to stop recording.